ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूगं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवम्। ओम वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य महानिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि हृदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। So last week we had seen till shloka 7th and we were in 8th shloka, and we were seeing what is going on in the mind of Duryodhan yet, and how he's overpowered by desires, overpowered by the passion. His words have lost inconsistency, have lost the wisdom. So we saw till 7th and I was in 8th shloka. I'll read the shloka first, 8th and 9th actually. भवान भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः. So he is telling in Dronacharya that, old man, you are Dvija Uttama, you are maybe best in Brahmana, but you, I don't think, know the warfare at all, because you have been doing Vedic part, Yajna and other things. So let me show you who are fighting from our side. And I highlighted the point that while he listed 17 people on Pandava side and told them they all are equal to Bhima and Arjuna, but he could list only 7 people from his side. And one more thing I want to highlight on the 7th one, on the 8th shloka, none of them he is calling Maharathi here. Whereas he was calling from the Pandava side, everybody is a Maharathi. Can you imagine? He lost complete wisdom of who is what in totality. So he is saying here, let me list down. So because he is talking to him and he suddenly remembered that I think I insulted him by saying that, you old man, you may be good Brahmana, but I don't think you know the warfare. So he is pointing out at Dronacharya first, you, Bhavan. Bhishmascha, Bhishma Pitama second, and then Karna, and I told you why he got in Karna in between. Karna, Kripacharya, Samitinjaya, Ashwathama, they are all what? Samitinjaya, who cannot be beaten in the war at all. Ashwathama, Vikarna, Saumadathi. These are the 7 people he lists down. And I told you also that 3 people he listed down from the same family. Ashwathama, Dronacharya and Kripacharya. So imagine he could not remember everybody's name also from his own army. Then we came to the 9th shloka where we stopped last time. Anyecha Bahava Shuraha. And I may not remember everybody, but you see others. There are so many Anye. So many others are standing here. They are what? Bahavaha Shuraha. They are all valorous people. Many, many valorous people. See, he could not use Maharathi at all here. He's saying many valorous people. Imagine they really downgraded them. What? How are they? Mad Arthe Tyakta Jivitaha. All these people for my sake. Mad Arthe, for me, for my sake, they've all given up their lives. Tyakta Jivita. He's not even talking about war, winning war, nothing. He's already made a conclusion that all of these people are going to die. For who? For me. For my sake. Because somewhere deep down in his heart, he knows that his side is wrong and he may not win the war. I told you last time also, however, clever somebody could be, but when somebody goes the path of adharma, please remember, he has already registered a defeat for him in his life. When that defeat comes may depend on the time. Because he is already enjoying the fruit of past life action. This life's action has not started giving him fruit yet. Many people come to us and ask, Aniji, that when you see outside, there are so many wicked people. I don't know why they are successful. Why God is not seeing them? I said, please don't think God is not seeing them. Because God has already made something called karma, which is supposed to take care of everybody. Whether it is good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Karma has to give fruit to the person who is responsible for doing that karma. When I was talking about the horizontal and vertical development last time, I was talking about the same thing. Both have got a negative axis. Whether it is horizontal also, whether it is vertical also. दोनों जगह negativity है. You are responsible for your own destiny. But yes, you can make your life or you can mar your life. God is so beautiful that He is sitting inside everyone, watching every karma of yours. But He's given you such free hand, He doesn't stop you forcefully anywhere. While sitting inside, He may sound you, what you are doing is not right. सबके अंतरात्मा की आवाज आती है, इसी ध्यान रखना. Everybody, whether he may be a criminal also, whether he may be a good person also, it doesn't matter. सबके अंतरात्मा की आवाज आती है. किसी को बहुत जल्दी सुनाई देती है क्योंकि उसका अंतःकरण, his inner equipment is more purer. The more purer you are, the more subtler your intellect will start grasping things. And the subtlest of all is the voice of your inner self, which is Lord Himself. He is seated inside everybody. Without His grace, nobody can move around anything in this world. उसकी बरकत के बगैर तो पत्ता भी नहीं हिल सकता. Forget about you all moving, we all moving. It's not possible. If I am sitting here and speaking and my voice is reaching you, why? Because He is very well present in this whole hall. In this whole cosmos, there is no place where He is not there. And He is the one who watches every action first. It is said in our scriptures that when a person leaves the body at the time of death, everybody is shown in a panoramic view all that you did in this life. And before that person takes the next birth, that person before the birth, before even coming out of the womb, that person is shown in panoramic view all his lives. Not only that previous life, all lives, what he did. And at that time, in Srimad Bhagavad, it says very clearly, Jiva makes a promise to God that, I don't know what happened to me, I forgot you in totality and I wasted my life and all those things. And he promises, I will remember you. But he comes and makes the first cry after coming out of the womb. God is forgotten, world is visible. Again he's back to the square one. I don't know how this creation is made. It is so difficult to pick out the subtlest in this creation. Gross everybody can see. The more subtler it goes, the more difficult it becomes to grasp. The whole practice of spirituality is to make your mind subtler. Why we have to carve out a pure mind so that we can grasp this subtler subject. When I come to the next chapter, I'll come to the spiritual side of the whole thing, which Bhagwan is going to talk about. You will see many shlokas as, even if I may say it, all of you will grasp according to your intellect separately. Doesn't matter, Bhagwan will make repetition himself. I don't have to do anything. He will make repetition because he knows that man cannot grasp many things living in this world, because this world is like this only. So, Bhagwan, when he says here, he says, Anyacha bahava shuraha, for me, my sake, they have already given up their lives. How are they? He explains in the next line. Nana shastra praharanaha. They are all equipped with many weapons and artilleries. Nana shastra praharana. They are holding them. And what? Sarve yuddha visharadaha. All of them are what? They are experts in warfare. Yuddha visharad. Visharad ka matlab hota hai, they are very good in warfare. They are not laymen just coming out of a school and fighting for me. They already have fought many battles. So they know the warfare very well. So I don't think they can be cheated. Now in this line, you need to remember, Duryodhan in the past few lines had really forgotten what he's talking about and he started praising the other side. Now he's trying to regather his whole intellect to say, what am I doing? I don't know what happened to me. Why am I praising them, man? मेरी साइड पे तो 11 अक्षौणी खड़ी है. There are 11 अक्षौणी standing on my side. On that side is only 7 of them. But I don't know why I've ended up praising them. So he's changing his tone and manner now. And in the next 2 shlokas, which is 10 and 11, he summarizes his whole argument. Duryodhan stops speaking after this. So 10th and 11th shloka is basically his final conclusion before he, gives away to the other side to react. But please remember, during this whole part, Dronacharya did not utter a word. There is no Dronacharya Vacha here. Neither Bhishma Pitama uttered a word. They knew it's like blabbering. How many times we told this man that you're doing wrong, but he refused to understand. Now when the battle has come, he's trying to explain us who's standing against us. Arey, we already know all of them. Who are you to introduce us to the Pandavas and the other side? Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, much older than him. They've already seen the whole array of people around. They know every king in the cosmos at that point in time. Who are you to introduce us? So they didn't utter a word. Dronacharya just didn't give a heed also to him. He just looked back. So now, in 10th shloka, you will see the confusion of Duryodhan coming to the pinnacle. In Sanskrit, there is a beauty that many times a same sentence may have 2 meanings. It's only possible in Sanskrit language because the word has roots. A root can have different meaning. But then if there are 2 meanings to the same word, how do you grasp what is right and wrong? You have to take the contextual meaning. So I am going to explain in the 10th shloka the 2 meanings. Both the meanings I'll explain you. Both the meanings are right here. We can take both of them also. But you see the side of Duryodhan's intellect now. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam. The word aparyapt has first meaning as insufficient. Paryapt means sufficient. Now if I take the insufficient as a meaning, which is the literal meaning of the word aparyaptam, you see what Duryodhan is talking about. Duryodhan is saying that asmakam am balam, hum logon ka jo bal hai, our strength, the strength of our army is insufficient. Huh? What are you talking? If your strength is insufficient, then why are you even standing to fight? Just give up. Go. And he's saying what? He pulled Bhishma Pitama also into the whole shloka. He says, how is our balam? Bhishma abhirakshitam. It is protected by Bhishma Pitama. He is using the word Bhishma Pitama. He is saying our strength is protected by Bhishma Pitama. Still he is saying it's insufficient. Wow. Now you see the other side of the whole thing. In the next line he says, Paryaptam tu idam etesham balam. Their strength, whose strength on the other side, Pandava's strength, is sufficient. Sufficient for what? To defeat us. That's the literal meaning how it comes out of this sloka. Paryaptam tu idam etesham balam. How is their strength? Is protected by Bhima abhirakshitam. See, it's a rhyme, Bhishma and Bhima. Just remove the adhasha and then it becomes like that. But imagine, Bhima is not the commander-in-chief of that army. It's Drishtadyumna. Then why did he drag Bhima here? If he is talking about commander-in-chief of Kaurava, who is Bhishma Pitama, the comparison should be to Drishtadyumna, who Drupad Putra, he said in the beginning, in his first shloka. He is not using that name at all. Why? It shows his fear psychosis. He was always in fear of Bhima. So when a man loses wisdom of words, what comes out is what is deep inner feeling. He may just blabber. What is he talking about? Drishtadyumna's name he didn't even take. That's one literal meaning of this shloka. Another meaning of this aparyaptam, which if I put Duryodhana in the right consciousness and think that, okay, at the last shloka he may have finally culminated the statement well. Aparyaptam in Sanskrit means unlimited. Paryaptam means limited. That meaning may fit here if Duryodhana is in his conscience and talking correctly. He says what? Aparyaptam, our strength is unlimited. Which is right. He's saying right. Because Bhishma has got he's got a blessing, the grace that, unko ichha maran ka vardhan hai. Nobody can kill him unless and he wants to die. That's why you see, Arjuna had put him on the bed of arrows. Sharshayya pe litaya. But he decided when to leave the body. No, physically, it's very difficult to comprehend how a man is lying on a bed of arrow, piercing through his bodies for so many days. He left the body at the time when the Uttarayan started. Which is when? When do Uttarayan start? Do you know that?
Waning of
Makar Sankranti. For us, for Sanatan Dharmis, is Uttarayan starts on Makar Sankranti and it Dakshinayan starts in July. You should remember that. हम लोगों का 6 महीने का cycle है, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan. On Uttarayan, the physical aspect of it, sun starts moving to the direction of north. In Dakshinayan, sun starts moving to the direction of south. So Ayan means the root. When he goes to Uttar, which is north, it becomes Uttarayan. When he starts going to Dakshin, which is south, it becomes Dakshinayan. Bhagavan will describe some aspects of that Uttarayan Dakshinayan later on. When it comes, I will take that portion. One more thing I want to just highlight. In the last class, I said one thing to you, that dharma is the underlying facet of this whole creation, is the substratum of the whole creation. I want to just highlight one thing. Whenever I use word dharma, never complicate it with religion. I don't mean religion here. Religion is not the underlying fact of that. When I mean dharma here means Sanatan Dharma. It's not about religion, because I told you in one of the class that religion is a very poor translation of the word dharma. Sanatan Dharma does not qualify to be in comparison also to other religions. It's not religion at all. It is the substratum, the underlying fact on which the whole creation is built. I'll tell you one thing. To like goodness, even a child who's just born and lying on a cradle, he would also, show his liking towards the goodness in other people. You try to be bad to him, he will already start disliking you. How it came to me, he doesn't have any knowledge at all. Nobody taught him anything. It is something which everybody is born with. So other religious people, I will call other religion community. Okay, it's very easy for me to decide that way. So other community people may be against Sanatan Dharma in an outer set, but they don't know the reality. Actually, all of us are Sanatan Dharmi only in this whole creation. Whether you follow any religion doesn't matter. So Sanatan Dharmi are following what it came from creation, which everybody is following without knowing, but we are already following by knowing some aspects of it and doing that. So that's one dharma. Whenever I use dharma in any of my discussion, please exclude it from religion. Don't take it as a religion, okay? So anyway, he says, our strength protected by Bhishma is unlimited, and see their strength protected by Bhima is limited. That also is one meaning, we can take either ways. So in a calculation he says, don't worry, we are well protected. So now let's focus on the war, because see, now he is already standing on the battlefield. Even if he like or not, can he go back?
No. How can
He cannot. I'll tell you one very small thing. In life, and I told you last time also, I'm just repeating one portion of it. Many times we may have to end up doing and following adharma. But life will give us chances to correct it many times. Life is not such harsh that it will punish you in the first go itself. Here, in spite of all those things which Duryodhana did, Dyut Krida, Draupadi, Vastra Haran, all those things, you see, including Bhagwan Krishna, went to them to tell them we can avoid war. Life will give chance to everybody. The only fact is that, do you have somebody or do you have enough wisdom to know which is right or wrong, or do you have somebody in life who can guide you? Here, you see, Lord Krishna is at the center of Pandavas. I'll show you when it goes forward. I'll show you that portion. One more thing I want to tell you in this chapter, please remember Bhagwan Krishna also never said anything. He said only 1/2 of a shloka, not even 1/4 of a shloka. As an action that you're telling me to do, I'll do. I'll explain you when it comes. So here, Duryodhana says that we have unlimited strength protected by Bhishma. They have limited strength protected by Bhima. Why did he bring Bhishma and Bhima as a comparison? This I will explain you in the next shloka when it comes. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha Bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarva evahi Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha Bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarva evahi. Now, the reason why he brought Bhishma and Bhima in comparison to each other is, if I see the personality of Bhishma, he has got a non-wavering personality. Whether it is the subject of a war, he's never wavered in any war in the past also. Whether it is the subject related to his character is completely clean. Bhishma Pitama. You cannot point out any portion low in his character in his whole life. Even when he kidnapped those 3 girls to be married, at that time Bhishma was very clear. His vow was towards protecting the kingdom. And when one of the girls said, I don't want to marry now, and the other one who I loved, he never accepted me now you marry me. He said, I'm sorry, I cannot break my vow. I kidnapped you for them. If you want, I can speak to them. Then she became angry and she went. That discussion will come at the later point. I'll take it up at that time. But you see his personality, unwavering character. Never ever he has fallen anywhere. In terms of dharma, wherever the dharma comes, when the kingdom has to be ruled in dharma, always he advised correctly as part of dharma. Even when Dyut Krida happened, he stopped Duryodhan. Do you know what? There was one brother of Duryodhan who stopped Duryodhan, who was the only one who objected to Duryodhan's decision of the whole Dyut Krida and other thing. His name was Vikarna. His name comes here also in the previous shloka I came. Vikarna is one of the brother of Duryodhana, who was the only one who objected to what Duryodhan was doing. But still when the war came, he is a brother. He cannot decide to go towards Pandava and fight against Kauravas. He had to fight with Duryodhana. He died also. in the whole war because everybody died anyway. That's not the point. And remember, Bhima, when he killed Vikarna, I told you, all the brothers were killed by Bhima only. Bhima said, Vikarna, it is very sad. That's the only brother he felt that, it's very sad that I have to kill you. I told you many times, even if you cannot fight it from our side, at least don't fight the war. Just go away. Now, what option am I left with? I am extremely sad that I have to kill you as part of the war. This is the only person for whom Bhima said this in the whole war scenario. Anyway, so you will see here. So he brought in comparison to Bhishma. Bhishma has his unwavering personality in dharma, in yuddha, anywhere. Now come to Bhima. Now he brought purposively Bhima into picture. One, he is very angry with Bhima. Number one. Number two, he's got a lot of fear for Bhim. Number three, in comparison to Bhishma, Bhima is a very aveshi. Aveshi means he gets angry very fast. You cannot compare Bhima with Bhishma by any chance. So when you have to say that our army is unlimited, bring out somebody who has got an unwavering personality to show the unlimitedness. Aparyaptam. And when you bring out that those are limited, you bring out somebody who has got a wavering personality. Bhima, wherever you see his anger has done many things, and his name will come aage jakar na, Bhima Karma Vrkodara. At that time I will explain you why Bhima is called the way he is called. He becomes angry not for wrong things, he becomes angry for the right thing, but his anger becomes uncontrollable. And if I talk about his other perspectives also, there are many things which he cannot compare to Bhishma at all. That's one of the reasons why he brings both of them in comparison to each other. Now he says, the last line of Duryodhana is basically an order as a king. When you are a king, you have to order some things before the war happens. He says, Sarveshu ayaneshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha bhavanta. That's why, since our army is unlimited and protected by Bhishma, therefore, what you all should do, ayaneshu cha sarveshu, standing at your own place. Ayan means place. Standing at your own place where you have been assigned in the war, you all have an eye towards Bhishma Pitama. And you all take a vow to protect Bhishma Pitama. Why? There is a reason. If you go to the psychology of the war, you will see if one commander has to protect himself also and to fight the war also, his attention gets divided. सोचो, अपनी भी रक्षा करनी है और युद्ध भी करना है, तो दोनों तो नहीं हो सकता एक साथ. So what he says, let Bhishma Pitama give his entire energy to the war, and make sure that we win the war. Let him not have the responsibility of protecting him. So what you all should do is that, standing at your own assigned places, all of you have an eye on Bhishma Pitama, and you all take the responsibility to protect Bhishma Pitama. And let him fight the war. Bhishma Beva Abhirakshantu Bhavanta Sarva Evahi. You all, from every aspect, every side, protect Bhishma Pitama, because he is the only one who is going to make us win the war. We have no ability to fight Pandavas at all. However big we may be, however small they may be, it doesn't matter. One more thing I want to point out here. Whichever side dharma is, please remember, whichever side dharma is, they are already more than double powerful than the adharma side automatically. Adharma side, whichever side adharma is, how much strength they may have, because of doing adharma, they have already half their strength. That's the power how dharma and adharma works in tandem with each other. So he says, do the protection of Bhishma Pitama standing there. Now you see, from the war scenario, both Dronacharya and Kripacharya and Bhishma Pitama is looking at this Duryodhana blabbering here and there, running here to here, helter to skelter to do anything. They know that nobody can stop the war at all now. So now Bhishma Pitama doesn't want to speak any word in front of them. It's like a waste of effort to speak to him. They've already tried a lot speaking to him when the whole thing, before even everything happened. So now he says, rather than speaking to him, let me act and make him happy by something of my act. So the next shloka says, I'll read the shloka, and there is one more aspect of the shloka which I wanted to say. You know, India's war policy is that we will never start a war first. It's India's policy. Huh? And remember that this policy comes from Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma says, even if you are fighting a war for the correct reason, give them every option to stop the war, the other side. Let them have the option. So for that, never start the war. Here one mistake Bhishma Pitama does in the next shloka. In this whole scenario, some mistake, unknowingly he has been committed by Bhishma Pitama, which I'll show you in this particular shloka. He says, Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddhav pitamaha simhanadam vinadyauchaihi shankham dadmau pratapavan. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddhav pitamaha simhanadam vinadyauchaihi shankham dadmau pratapavan. Now Bhishma Pitama know that this guy is running here and there, and he finally said something to the whole army in order that protect Bhishma Pitama. So he has to show some happiness. So he says, Tasya. Either Tasya means Duryodhanasya. That's how you should see. Huh? When I say these words, I'm relating it to the war completely. Tasya, Sanjanayan Harsham, to create happiness in his heart. Whose heart? Duryodhanasya. In Duryodhan's heart, what? Kuru Vruddha Pitamaha. Pitamaha is like, he's the most senior most in the Kuru family. Kaurava family is the senior most. So, isliye Kuru Vruddha is the word for him. Pitamaha, almost Bhishma Pitama is Pitama only. That's how he's named. Simhanadam Vinadya Uchaihi. Uchaihi Simhanadam Vinadya. He blew his conch, Shankha, conch, very, very loudly. Simhanadam means like a roaring lion. That's the kind of sound. It's the Visheshan for the sound actually. How strong that sound was. Shankham dadmau pratapavan. He says he blew the conch and here he used the word how he is very valorous. Pratapavan means pratapi. So he is very tejasvi and ojasvi. Who? It is the Visheshan for Bhishma Pitama. That pratapavan kuru vruddha pitamaha tasya sanjanayan harsham हम सिंहनादम विनदुचई शंखम ददमऊ ऐसे आएगा संस्कृत का लाइन है. Anyway, so he blew his conch, but what he missed in this statement, it's an underlying statement we have to understand is, when a commander-in-chief blows the conch, it indicates the start of the war. He didn't intend to start the war here. He only wanted to generate happiness in the heart of Duryodhana. But he completely missed out that he is the commander-in-chief. And commander-in-chief has the right to start or make the announcement for the start of the war. Now you see the next line, nobody understood why he blew the conch. But he blew the conch only. See, and I'm telling you, only Sanjay understood why he blew the conch. If anybody would have seen him blowing the conch, they would have declared start of the war any which ways. But Sanjay, I told you at the beginning, he had got the eye to understand what is going inside the mind also. So he knew that Bhishma Pitama did not intend to start the war. He only intended to generate happiness in the heart of Duryodhana. Because poor man is running here and there, sad, angry, he doesn't know what he is talking also. I don't know how to give this man confidence. He only knew that the war is inevitable now. He only did everything for the war now. And I don't know what has happened to him. To just create happiness, he blew the conch. But what happened? Now there is a spiraling action which starts in the next shloka. Everybody thought it's a declaration of the war. So what happened in the next one? Tatas shankascha bheryascha Panavanaka gomukha sahasaiva abhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat ततः शंकाश्च भैर्यश्च पणवानक गोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तु मुलोभवत्. It uses the word tataha. Tata means thereafter. Immediately after that. They didn't even stop. The army didn't wait a second to even grasp what has actually happened. Arey bhai, just pause for a second and at least check with him why he blew the conch. They didn't do that. They automatically assumed the war has started. Tataha, immediately thereafter. Shankaha cha bhairya. Shank or nagade. Shank means conch. Nagade, I do not know what you call in English. It's like dhol and nagade. There are many things actually. Dhol, nagade, gomukh. They are all equipments which they are used. The sound equipments which are used by the army standing there. Now please remember, everybody is having some or the other sound equipment. Now gomukh is like a horn of a cow. It's made of something, but it looks like a horn of a cow. That's called gomukh. It is usually, even today it's used in Maharashtra for many religious festivals and all. If you ever travel to Maharashtra for any local thing, you will see they even today have gomukh as one of the things. So they say Shankha, Bhairya, Kaunch, Nagade, Dhol, Panavanaka, Gomukaha, Dhol, Mridang or Nagade. Dhol, Mridang or Gomukh. They are all different sound equipments. Sahasa Eva. Sahasa Eva means all of them together. They didn't wait for comprehending what has happened. Can you imagine 11 Aksharohinis blowing all their equipments together? Kind of sound which would have come in Kurukshetra, I can't even comprehend what kind of a sound would have been. 11 Aksharohini Sena blowing everything together. This says the whole sky was covered with the sound. It's said like that. 11 Akshoni blew all equipments they had together, Dhol, Nagade, Mridang, which means what? Finally, they, without understanding the reason, they declared war. So, even though Pandavas wanted war, but Pandavas did not start the war. Till the end, Pandavas have always been on the safer side. They always remained there. Why? Because in the locus of their team, Bhagwan is standing. Remember, Arjun's chariot was in the center of the war. And in the chariot, charioteer sits behind. The Sarthi is in the front. Driver is always in the front. The one who is actually running the chariot. So technically, at the front of the Pandav army is Bhagwan. Now you will see how Pandavas behave in the next shloka onwards, how Pandavas mentality goes. One thing I want to highlight here. I was telling Vandyaji before the class, before discussing this whole thing. You will see all three of them, the three people in description here, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan and Arjun. They all have this, I will use the word Vishad as Down syndrome. I'll use this word for a moment to explain it to you. All three have Down syndromes before the start of the war. Dhritarashtra's Vishad was Tamasic Vishad. There are three words I'll use. I'll explain you later what exactly it means. Duryodhan's Vishad is Rajasic Vishad. And now, going forward, you will see Arjun's Vishad. Arjun's Vishad is Sattvic Vishad. All three, when it comes to their behavioral aspect, it becomes completely different from each other. Tamasic Vishad, blinded by the love and I will use the word attachment more than love. Blinded by the attachment to his son, he did not even see what is right and wrong, and he did not have the guts or courage to, even after knowing what's going to be the outcome, he could not stop them. Then comes the Rajasic Vishad of Duryodhan. Overpowered by desire and passion, his words lost the wisdom. He forgot who is he talking to. He's talking to his Acharya disrespectfully ever till now. Till Dronacharya and everybody. And he is in a spree of disrespecting everybody. And he is saying that everybody has come to give their life for me. Now next portion will come, Sattvic Vishad, when the Vishad comes of Arjuna. In between now there will be Shankha and of other side also, because now they have to show the other side also, na? Because Sanjay is painting the picture of what exactly happened in the war in the mind of Dhritarashtra. So he will talk about that. When it comes to Arjuna, remember Arjuna is also in Vishad, but every bit of his knowledge is sparkling and he is speaking complete knowledge during his Vishada. And whereas Duryodhan doesn't even know what he is talking about, who is he talking to, respect, everything is forgotten. You will see from this, as going forward when the conversation happens, you will see, when I look at Arjuna, you will see that Arjuna is very well read about the whole scriptures. Arjuna has so good knowledge of Sanatan Dharma, when he talks of Vishada to Bhagwan, that I don't want to fight, he speaks absolute knowledge. What according to Dharma should be there. His mind, his intellect, his knowledge is completely available for him, sparkling through that whole thing. And he gives very good logic to Bhagwan, that why I don't want to fight, and nowhere you can say that his logic is wrong. But yes, only thing which is wrong for Arjuna is the timing is wrong. For that knowledge, you could have said that before, but the timing is not right. Now you can't do anything. They have already blown the conch and every equipment. Now, what do you tell them? If you now stop the war, means you are accepting defeat. Do you want to do that? You cannot, once the conch has blown, you cannot go away. तो क्या कहते हो, रणभूमि में पीठ दिखाने के बराबर है.
Who says this?
Bhagwan will say that to him. You can't do anything about it. Now nothing doing. Everywhere Bhagwan will tell Arjuna, get up and fight. Get up and fight. Get up and fight. But please understand, many people who speak against Bhagavad Gita says that Gita teaches us to fight. I'm sorry, they are fools to say that. Gita never teaches us to fight. Gita tells us to live rightly. And Gita also teaches us that till the time fight is unavoidable, till the time fight is avoidable, try to avoid. Only when it becomes unavoidable, definitely get up and fight. Every time you can't run away from fights. You have to improve, take care of the situation also. How many times you will run away in life? Please remember, when you talk about Gita ji here, which Mahabharata it's talking about? Everyone has to look inside themselves. There is a Mahabharata which is going on inside all of us. Every time there are two paths. This path I go, I can do adharma and get away for the time being. And I can do dharma also and take the long path. It's a choice. It's an option which comes in front of each one of us every now and then. We have to make a decision which one to go for. Now, that thing I'll point out when it comes to. Let's go to the next shloka when it comes to Pandava's side. Tata shvetair hayer yukte mahati syandane sthitau madhavav pandavas chaiva divyau shankhau pradadmatuhu. Tata shvetair hayer yukte mahati syandane sthitau Madhavav Pandavas Chaiva Divyau Shankhau Pradadmatuhu. I described one portion in the first class that when Kaurava, they gave Indraprastha to Pandavas. Indraprastha was a barren piece of land which has all these weeds and all these things grown up there. Nothing can be, it cannot be cultivated at all. So Bhagwan said one word, you know what? Our fire god is hungry. Agni Devta bhuke hain. Bhagwan only said that. He never explained anything. He said Agni Dev bhuke hain. Arjuna is so clear and he is so deep reverence for Bhagwan, devotion for Bhagwan, that when the word slips from Bhagwan's mouth, he understands what he means without even explaining. You know what? We have to read the explanation of Bhagavad Gita to understand Bhagavad Gita. But you will see Arjuna, Bhagwan only said the shloka. Arjuna understood. In one go itself, standing in the middle of the war, he understood what Bhagwan is saying. You will see everywhere, Arjuna's question is to the topic of Bhagwan, what Bhagwan is talking. He never goes outside the topic. When I see in Bhagavad Gita, I see in the whole context of 700 shlokas, I don't think Arjuna is seeing the army also. I don't think Arjuna remembers the war also. He is so engrossed in what Bhagavan is saying that whatever Bhagavan says, he understands, grasps, and wherever a question comes, he raises the question according to the topic. He has not gone at one place in Bhagavad Gita outside the topic. He's not said that, Bhagavan, it's the war. You will see in the second chapter itself, Bhagavan is talking about Adhyatma Vidya. He's saying in the middle of the war, Bhagavan, how does this Sthita Prajna look? A sannyasi, how does he look? Hey, bhai, in the middle of the war, what has a sannyasi got to do with the whole thing? Why are you even asking for it? He's asking Bhagavan, how does a sannyasi live? How does he get up? How does he sit? How does he walk? What has that question to do with the war? Because Bhagavan said once you reach the pinnacle of this knowledge, you will automatically land there where a sannyasi lands. So he is asking the same question. Then tell me, how do I identify a sannyasi in this life? I need to know who are sannyasis and not. So you will see, he is within the topic every time. He is so attentive, so clear, and so pure in his intellect that nothing he misunderstands in the Bhagavad Gita. So you will see now. So Bhagavan said, Arjun, fire god is hungry. Arjuna used Agni Ban and burned the hole in the Prastha. Agni Devta became so happy that he came down and he presented 3-4 things to Arjuna. He gave one an Ratha. I'm reusing why? Because that description is coming here. Tata Shvetair Hayer Yukte. He gave one Ratha to Arjuna. He gave one Gandiv. Gandiv is the a bow. One Gandiv to him. He gave one Akshay Tarkas. Akshay Tarkas means that quiver in which arrow never finishes. Akshay. How many arrows you may fire doesn't matter. Arrows will always be there in that Tarkas. That's called Akshay Tarkas. He got gifted by fire god because he gave it from the Swargaloka. He got Gandiv as his Dhanush. Then he got one thing which is called his Panchajanyam. He gets one Shankam. No, not Panchajanyam. Devadattam. Sorry. He gets one Shanka by the name Devadattam from fire god. When fire god comes to give Arjuna, fire god also gets Bhagwan Krishna's conch lying in Vaikunt, and he gives this to Bhagwan at that time itself, which is called Panchajanyam here. It will come in the next line. I'll describe at that time. So Arjuna got his conch from who? From fire god. He got his chariot also from him. That chariot is described here. Tata Shvetaihi Hayaihi Yuktai. Hayai means gode, horses. His chariot was tied with white horses. Shvetaihi. Shveta means white. White horses. Now, when you see, when people describe Mahabharata, they say that, Arjun's Ratha had 5 horses. Somewhere the description says that it has 4 horses. The point is not me to explain, how many horses were there. But for our understanding, I will use 5 horses for a time being. Why? Because those 5 horses actually represent our 5 senses. Okay, so let's take the thing as 5 horses. Actually, one of the sense is actually more subtler than the other one. So even if you take 4, you can combine, but I'll use 5 horses now. There is no clear description here, but you just understand that there were 5 horses in his chariot. All of them were white. Now please remember, in this cosmos, the color white represents purity. Okay? It represents purity. So you will see, when some student used to go to Gurukul, they are made to wear white dhoti and white kurta. And they are supposed to remain in the Gurukul throughout the time. They are only allowed to wear white dhoti and white kurta. People used to, why are you against colors or what? No. Color should not bind your intellect, should not attract your attention while studying. So all students are in the same color. अब देखो किसको देखना है, सारे ही सफेद में हैं, जिसको मर्जी देखना। तो व्हाइट एक्चुअली रिप्रेजेंट्स प्योरिटी, इसलिए गुरुकुल में भी व्हाइट कलर वॉज ऑलवेज प्रोमिनेंट। हियर श्वेतई खये इसलिए बोला है, देयर हॉर्सेस आर व्हाइट बिकॉज दैट रिप्रेजेंट्स हाउ प्योर अर्जुन इज। एंड आई टोल्ड यू इन माई लास्ट क्लास ऑल्सो, when you read Bhagavad Gita, oh man, I have become a big fan of the character called Arjuna. I tell you, whether you understand Gita how much or not, but there is a very big message for you to imbibe qualities what Arjuna used to carry. You see, Bhagwan had 5 Pandavas, but still he became the chariot driver for only Arjuna. He never became in the chariot driver for or Yudhishthira, Nakul, Bhim and Sahadev. They were all Pandavas. They all had reverence for Bhagwan. Everybody had reverence for Bhagwan. Abhimanyu was so related because Subhadra is his brother. Subhadra's brother is Bhagwan Krishna. So imagine, so still Bhagwan had so much reverence and liking for Arjuna. What can I tell you? There is one important portion which I want to highlight. When a guru teaches in a gurukul, every student is same for the guru. Guru cannot have partiality towards any student. But there is an automatic Shraddha mechanism which works behind the scene, which we need to understand. There are so many students who pass out of a gurukul, but there are only 1 or 2 who get every part of knowledge what guru gives. Why? It's not that guru is partial towards them. Please remember, guru is on an upper pedestal and the Ganga, the river of knowledge, flows from top to down. River never flows from down to up. It's always downstream. Anyway, the guru is sitting on an upper pedestal. Amongst the students who has got more Shraddha, it's the same knowledge dispensed to all students. But one will receive more than the other depending upon his or her Shraddha towards the Guru. That's how, our spiritual knowledge is all about. Never ever in any Gurukul I've heard, Guru has been partial towards student. But yes, because of that student's seva, student's Shraddha, Guru will automatically see that which students is brighter. कभी कभी देखते हैं हम लोग, when I used to go for satsangs and all, Guru looks at one student and again many times. Why? It's not that the student has given some bribe to the Guru or something, or he's done some extra thing for him or anything, or he's partial towards him. It's that whosoever has got more Shraddha for that Guru's knowledge, that becomes the perfect recipient. Bhagwan will say in Bhagavad Gita, in one of the chapters, Shraddhavan labate jnanam. जिसकी श्रद्धा होगी उसको ज्ञान ना मिले, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. Bhagwan is giving guarantee. The only thing we need to work upon is, of course, yes, we need to work hard for knowledge, that's another part of it. But the one thing we need to brush ourselves against all time is that eliminate anything which comes in between you and your Shraddha towards who is teaching you to get the complete knowledge. If anything comes, please remember, one thing which we many times end up doing in the normal parlance in the world is that even if we have misunderstanding, we don't clarify. We carry that misunderstanding with us unless and until something happens and that person appears in front and he himself clarifies. Arey bhai, aisa hota nahi hai. If we have misunderstanding, have the courage to go and clarify. Remember, if you go and clarify your misunderstanding, the person with whom you clarify, he will start having reverence towards you. अरे हिम्मत तो करिए आके बोलने की, कहीं तो हिम्मत ही नहीं कर पाते. इसलिए बहुत जरूरी है, प्लीज ब्रश अप श्रद्धा अगेंस्ट स्क्रिप्चर. 3 लोगों के लिए 3 श्रद्धा जरूरी है. इधर श्रद्धा 3 ही जाती है, गुरु वेदांत वाक्येषु विश्वास श्रद्धा. श्रद्धा की डेफिनेशन है ये वेदांत में, ठीक है ना. गुरु वेदांत वाक्येषु विश्वास श्रद्धा. देयर इज वन टेक्स्ट इन वेदांत कॉल्ड तत्वबोध, इट कम्स फ्रॉम देयर. गुरु, तो दे से व्हाई इट इज नॉट सेड ईश्वर, बिकॉज वो गुरु ही क्या जो ईश्वर को छोड़कर अपनी बात करे, फिर वो गुरु थोड़ी है. गुरु कौन है? वही होगा ना जो अपने को छोड़कर ईश्वर की बात करे. उसके लिए वो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. उसके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है? यू शुड होल्ड ऑन टू गॉड, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली ही इज द मास्टर ऑफ ऑल. योर डिवोशन शुड फ्लो टू हिम, योर श्रद्धा शुड फ्लो टुवर्ड्स हिम. फॉर दैट व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल प्रूफ? शास्त्र. दैट्स व्हाई वेदांत सेज शास्त्र गुरु वेदांत वाक्येषु. वेदांत मीन्स शास्त्र. शास्त्र वाक्येषु विश्वास श्रद्धा. उसके ऊपर पूर्ण विश्वास करो. देयर विल बी मेनी पॉइंट इन टाइम where what the Shastra says or the Guru says may not be according to what your own experience is. That doesn't mean Guru and Shastra is wrong. We may not understand many things what Shastra says, but then we have to make ourselves in such a way that if Guru or Shastra is saying, that means it has to be right. It is for us to see how we understand that. If you don't understand, ask question. That's the only way to do it. So here he says, Tatah Shvetair Higher Yukte, with loaded with the white, tied to the white horses. Thereafter, after all those blew their own equipments and all, after that, tied to the white horses, Shvetaihi Hayahi Yuktaihi. How is the Ratha Mahati Sandane? It's not a simple chariot. Mahati is to show great kind of a chariot. It's not a very simple chariot at all. What is so great about the chariot? When you read the description in Mahabharata, you see that chariot had got a rest room. It had got storage space for weapon and instruments. It was a very big chariot, Bhagwan's chariot, and the right in the center. It has got rest area, rest room. It has got its own places to secure all your weapons and instruments and equipments and all those things. And it is such huge that, the chariot itself seems shining separately. And it's a divyam. Divyam means it is not in this world. Anybody who sees can make out, definitely it is not from this world. Somebody must have given, it must have come from Devloka only. So he says, Madhavaha Pandavaha Cha Eva. Now this is very important. When Bhishma Pitama blew conch and all the Kauravas have blown their own conches and they have sounded their own equipment, ideally who should have first sounded the conch from Pandava side? It should have been Commander-in-Chief. Who's Drishtadyumna? But you see here, he did nothing. Now the way Bhagavad Gita describes is so beautiful. It says Madhava first, Lord Krishna. First person to blow the conch on Pandava's side was Bhagwan Krishna. I can't even fathom the fact how it would have looked that, Bhagwan blew his conch first to start the war from Pandava's side. Why? Because Pandavas are some people who just follow Bhagwan. They don't follow anybody. If we have to fight, even at the time of fight also, till now Arjuna has not gone into Vishad yet. Please remember, इधर तक अर्जुन को विषाद नहीं हुआ था. अर्जुन को विषाद अभी होगा, अभी हुआ नहीं है. तो अर्जुना is in his full blown potential. I am invincible. And remember one thing, अर्जुन जैसा धनुर्धारी इन तीनों लोक में, मैं स्वर्ग नरक और इधर की बात कर रहा हूँ, तीनों लोक में कोई था ही नहीं. He was so valorous. There was nobody who could defeat Arjuna in the war. He was so valorous and so capable. So Arjuna has his own. Many people now, if I look at the current world, when many youngsters, they pass out from colleges and they come with good scores, they're all like Arjuna. When they face the situation, then the actuality starts coming into picture. Where you stand. Oh, I studied so much, it is useless, I can't do anything, my potential is gone waste. These things start coming up inside us, even though we may be the best amongst the available. We may be top rankers. I have seen people, they say I was the top ranker in college. My life has not moved only. Arjuna is one of the top rankers from the Gurukul. He is the topmost student of the Gurukul. And that's why even Dronacharya had deep reverence for Arjuna. He knew he is the best. There's one incident I will point out here. Duryodhan used to say, you are partial, Dronacharya. Acharya, you are partial. Why? You always keep saying that, Arjuna is the best, Arjuna is best. Why Arjuna is best? We all learned the same thing. So Dronacharya never responded. He said, okay, tomorrow I'll call all of you. He hung a fish on the tree. This story most of you knows because I've heard it in many places. He hung the fish on the tree and he called one by one Kauravas first. Come here. What are you seeing? He said, I am seeing the sky. Because above the fish, the sky is there, no? I am seeing the sky. Now what are you seeing? I am seeing the tree. Now what are you seeing? I am seeing a branch. Now what are you seeing? I am seeing a thread. Now what are you seeing? I am seeing a fish. He said, go. All of them said like this. Now at the end, he called Arjuna. Arjuna, come here. What do you see? I see the eye of the fish. One go. I don't see the sky. I don't see the tree, which are much bigger than the eye of the fish, by the way. So imagine, he always had the flair. He always had the attention to detail. Because Acharya said, you all have to shoot the eye of the fish. Then why you have to see the sky? Why you have to see the tree? Why you have to see the branch? See what is being told to you, no? So he said, this is why Arjuna is my best. Is best among all your students. So he says, Madhavaha, then he says, Pandavaha cha. First Madhava and then Pandava. What happened? Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. They blew their Divya. Matlab, the conch which is not from this world. Of course, both of them have got their conches from Agni Devta. It has to be not in the world. When you say Divya, whenever we've heard the word Divya, Divya means it is not come out of normal hard work. It is not come out of the Panchabhut. Panchabhut means 5 elements of this creation. It has come from somewhere outside and it has come through grace. It's not out of hard work. Okay? That's why it's called Divya. Somebody gave you. Somebody gifted you. That's how it comes, the word Divya here. Divya is one more meaning. It is definitely coming from Swargaloka and different Loka. That's how here it is spoken about. Now we will see in the next session. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayami Shriman Narayanayeti samarpayami Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Tat Sat